Just visit a build site before you build a house. Things are about to get full swing here on my 25 acres in the middle of nowhere. So in this episode, I made the trip to a build site to get a little education on trusses and ICF. These are the same logs I'll be using for my house. I also built a door for my shed and finished a lot of it off, and I also shot a laser level at night to get an idea for the foundation measurements. I'm going for a house build way out here, and there's much to know before I get at it, so I also reveal my actual house plans in this video. Finally, the time has come. Since the winter of 2026, I've been living in my tent on 25 acres of wild land that I bought. I sold my place just before, and now I'm spending all my money on an off-grid house build. When it's done, there will be no mortgage and only a few bills to pay because I'll be on well water and solar power. I've done this once before though. This is my first log cabin you're seeing. I cut this thing right from the trees off the land. It was a simpler build, but I did it for the exact same reasons. Freedom and immersion in nature. It was home base for 5 years. Though I loved the round and rustic logs in my first cabin, for my house, I'm using squared logs from a local mill. You see, I'm not a builder by trade. I'm a musician and an all-around regular dude, so for a house build, I'm not messing around. I'm gonna build something I can actually handle and something I can hopefully get into before this winter. Of course, there will be a log cabin built deep in the property once the house is done. That'll be the next project, but for any dreamers out there looking for a way out of the system, take my videos as a blueprint for one way to get there. Because if I can make this happen, well, so can you. Before we really get into it, I had to redo my tarp on my canvas tent. Since I built the shed in behind, the tarp has been, well, a mess, so I decided to set it up right. It might seem like a small job, but wow, it's so important. So many times water has pooled on this thing, grommets have been broken off, and so now I've got an opportunity to set it up right again. This has been my actual roof since March, and it'll be my roof for the next few months to come. This thing is like 16 by 20 feet, so it's kind of awkward to work with. I had to find new trees for every last bit of rope I had. I had to cut new rope. I had to figure out new angles, and on it goes. But in the end, it was worth it. And I gave myself a little awning at the front of the tent when it was all over as well. This is the rope from the tarp. This explains why I've been hearing the mice at night. Just been chewing it up and using it for nests, I'm sure. Same thing, another one. Another one of these ropes. Yep, that's much better. Got the awning at the front, and everything else is going to work like a charm. Now to get at that shed in behind I built for storage. Time to fix that thing up a little bit. I just sort of freestyled this shed. I had a basic idea and just went for it. So not surprisingly, there were all these little details I overlooked or just left out completely. So here's me fixing all that up. I figured these little blocks would add more strength, so I figured out the angles and threw them above the studs. There were gaps everywhere. I should have used the plywood to cover them on the outside, but now these 2x4s are basically correcting what I screwed up in the first place. And it's working just fine. I got lots of 2x4 cutoffs. And this piece of plywood I just missed altogether. Whoops. Then came the day this week to visit the build site. Today they will be cutting and tying trusses together, so I wanted to be there for it. The same guy who's sending me the logs from his mill is in charge of this build, so I got up bright and early for the drive out there. Well, folks, it's bright and early, and just enjoying the last sounds out here. I'm about to hit the road in my car. The muffler is gone on it now. There's like a hole in it, and it's really loud. I got to drive for about 4 hours to this build site. Worth it? Yes. Because it's the same place that I'm building. And I need the education. The guy who's sending me the materials is also the guy that's on the site working. And so I'm going to pick his brain, and he's going to show me a lot of things today. And this is a very important day for me. So you got to do what you got to do. Just go visit the build site. Just live in a tent. Just build the shed. You see the theme here? You just got to do what you got to do. This pile of logs is exactly the type of logs I'll be getting as well. Probably even on the same truck. It's all white pine, cut and planed locally. These ones are, I think, 8x8. They're looking real nice. And they'll look even better when they're in my own place. This particular build is all ICF walls, which means insulated concrete forms. I'm not doing this type of a build. I'm doing all log, baby. My foundation, though, is going to be made of ICF, so it was good to see it. This beast of a machine is a log truck. This has the power to pick up a fully built, huge timber truss and place it right on a roof. For this garage, though, first thing it's going to do is move this massive steel beam into place. So I decided to film it. Now came time for the wood. Way more my style. The walls on this garage are done, so it's ready to take on the trusses. So the wood was moved nice and close so the rafter cutting could begin. These skill saw blades, I think, were like 12 inches. They're definitely meant for bigger timbers. So once all the angles are sorted out, the truss is put together on the ground, then used as a template for the rest, since they're all the same. Then it's just cut and cut some more. It's super important to be exact with every measurement on a roof truss. I also got cutting a bunch as well, which is why I didn't film a ton. But I was there the whole time, cutting and absorbing it all. After the build, we went back to the mill, and Rob gave me a little education on ICF foundations. This man is a walking trade encyclopedia.
Okay. So that goes on the top row, so however it works out.
Okay.
And if you're coming down like this, you just lay your board like that, and then you can just screw into these screws.
But what about underneath it?
Yeah, well, it'd be rock. This is the rock.
So you're scribed.
This is your rock.
Ah, gotcha.
You're just dropping this board on your rock.
Gotcha, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you don't even, then when you get up one full block, then you just stick, or a half block, whatever you want to do, right? So you'd have that, if this was your rock. So basically your block's level, that's your rock. Your board's sitting on your rock on that angle, right?
Yeah. So if you use the board method, like that,
yeah.
That one doesn't have to be scribed to the rock?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, that would be easy then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're just screwing it into here. There's your webs, right? They're your webs. So you screw your board into there. So if you were at a level, if you just take a 2x4
And if you're going to build a house, it's important to have a guy like this on your side. Looking at this sawmill, it's crazy to think that my entire journey has stemmed from right here. A simple family-run sawmill off a sleepy country road. They cut logs for people who want to build a house and have stamped plans ready to go. For someone like me, it's a perfect setup, so without further ado, here are my house plans, folks. As you can see, I'm not exactly rewriting the book. It's a simple square log house that I can handle building. So being a log place, it will be all log. That means zero drywall. It'll just be wood, wood, and more wood. No siding, just logs inside and out. And the roof will be tongue and groove pine. It'll be on a heated concrete pad. I simply can't afford a basement, so it's going to be on a poured pad. It'll be an open concept with a loft, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. The ceilings will be very high with exposed wooden trusses, a character that simply cannot be beat. And at the end of the day, simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication, as Leonardo da Vinci would say. That's always been a guiding principle for me when it comes to design and especially when it comes to a living space. But I'm not exactly there yet. We'll get there. So for now it's back to camp, and it's time to build a door for this shed of mine. I started by removing the bottom plate, and of course I was using that old beat up generator that's been lying around the camp for this job. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so sick of gas powered generators. These old clunky, stinky, loud things. Has the universe not come out with a better solution yet? Universe, I beg you, save me from this generator. No way. The universe has answered my call. A huge thanks to BLUETTI for sending me this absolutely amazing unit. You're looking at a complete off-grid power system here, folks. This is the Apex 300 and B500K expansion battery and a 500 watt solar panel. This combo of the Apex 300 and expansion battery delivers 3,840 watts of AC output and has 7,884 watt hours capacity. That's huge. It supports 120 volt, 240 volt, dual voltage output with over 11,000 watts of output capacity. And this thing easily handles high demand appliances like water pumps, air conditioners, power tools, you name it, it can run it. It also has unmatched solar charging capabilities, capable of taking in, get this, over 30,000 watts of solar power. It's got exceptional battery life, being able to withstand 6,000 cycles, twice as long as competitors. And it's got RV power support for the RV crowd out there too. I'm curious how it's going to do with power tools, so I say we test some of these out. I'm going to be doing this for my build after all, so let's see how it works. So, it ran the planer, it runs my little buzz cut tool, it can handle a Sawzall no problem. Well, if it can let me drill through the bare rock like this, then it officially checks all my boxes for this build. It's even got a smaller port on the side for USB plugins. Super convenient and user-friendly. I know how hard it is to live without power. I've lived that way a lot, so this thing is staying with me now till the very end. What a gift. Spoiler alert, that door you're seeing there is the one I'm about to build. But this BLUETTI now has its very own house to live in. And my power problems are officially solved with this unit. There is no stone left unturned here. So I'm going to set it up in my shed and run the solar right out to it, and have it attached 24/7 to the panels. As a side note, I love the display screen. It's easy to read and never leaves you guessing. The future has officially arrived here. So my fellow dreamers, check the links in my description if you want a discount on your very own BLUETTI power station. You will not regret the purchase. Thanks, BLUETTI. And now for that door build, folks. I'm going to step aside and let the process unfold. As you know, my skills are a bit rusty. I'm a guy that grew up in the suburbs, just using the tools I happen to have here. So you let me know what you think. Here we go. So close yet so far. The angles are correct, I just didn't mark it good enough. Oh, it's just one line is off. That's tight. Tight up there, it's just gotta come out. Just gotta come out here. It's tight there, tight on both. Measure and do it again. Okay, I tried it again. We're gonna see how this fits now. Looks good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Not much wiggle room there. That's as good as I can do. I'll take it. I'll take it. Awesome. Well, I spared you all the cutting drama, and I got 2 nice diagonals in there. Nice enough diagonals, I should say. So we're gonna screw those in now and get the boards on. Some of you have been asking how I haul my stuff, my materials to the site. This is one way I do it. I can't get much in here in my little Toyota Corolla, but I have the roofing. I don't know if you can see it. The roofing is up there. And I've got a bunch of 2x4s in here. And I even have a bunch of other stuff kicking around like in the back. So this is just like a quick fold the seats down and throw it in the trunk. And if I need stuff in a pinch, I can get it. So, proof. Just thought I'd film this very practical point of tent life. I'm in here, but I've got my desk, I've got my expenses up on the laptop there, and I keep a record of all my receipts because, you know, for taxes at the end of the year, I just keep them in Ziploc freezer bags, and then they go into there. And then that goes into my little plastic shelf I bought over there. And I keep track, so at the end of the year, it's easy to do taxes. It is possible to be a little bit organized out here, other than what it looks like. At least I have that going for me, so thought I'd show you that. So folks, this is a job I had to do at night. There's a laser level over the build site. It's that green line, that's spreading out there in the distance. And that is the septic. Now I have to know where the top of the ICF is going to go in relation to that green line. That green line in the septic represents where the inlet pipe is. I can't be lower than that up here on the build site because the poop that has to come out of the septic tank has to drain downwards, not upwards. And it has to drain downwards at just the right angle, so I need these measurements to be pretty much close. This is interesting. It's a very still night, very like kind of weird. There's no movement whatsoever going on in the trees or anything. It's just dead still up there. Okay, so I gotta find my tape. Oh yeah, I have a door on this now. I'm not used to that. Find my tape so I can measure, there it is, so I can measure where the line is hitting on each side of the building now. So first thing I'm gonna check is I'm walking towards the septic here. You can see that green laser line on there. I'm gonna see where it's hitting in relation to the inlet pipe. And I'd say it's pretty bang on. So the highest point on the front of the house, let's see what this is gonna give me. Highest point here is 29.5. It's 46.5 inches. Okay. And I'd say the highest point back here is 40.5 inches. Last wall, the lowest point is going to be 23 inches. Okay. Tis a fine evening, folks, and I have a new plan with the laser level. So what I'm doing, my next attempt here is I'm marking this level at 8 inches. Actually, now that's 9 inches. Oh no. The shortest point. There we go. Right at the 8 inches. And I've decided to pump all of my sewage upwards because otherwise my wall is going to be too high. And it just doesn't make any sense. Gravity fed would be amazing, but I have made the hard choice to pump the sewage up to that septic tank and instead of letting it flow downwards from gravity. So it's a long story. I may get into it later, but let's go check all the level marks. Yeah, more like 30. Okay. And this is a scary one back here. It's the deepest part. 55. Wow. If I go in the muck, it's just over 60. About 60 right on. Oh my goodness. This is not ideal, but it is what it is. What the heck is this number gonna be? 65. Oh my God, 65. And then this is all easy. Yeah, okay. Dang. So that's a lot to think about. But in the meantime, there's one last thing to do to that shed. See, I forgot to put an overhang off of the sides of the shed, so I tacked one on in this next part. It would have just been a lot easier to do it right the first time, go figure, but here we are, so I gotta do it. Like I've said, I'm a guy that grew up in the suburbs. I have some experience doing this sort of thing, but if you see me doing stuff wrong, well, you'd be correct. I'm probably doing a lot of things wrong. I hope this overhang will survive the snow. The wintertime will tell us the answer on that. So I'm up here on the roof on today's episode of Just Do It Right the First Time. And as you can see, I'm just scabbing on these pieces of strapping, which I'm not crazy about doing, but like I've said, if you just do it right the first time, you wouldn't have to do that. But it's so the roof is level when it comes out this way. So that's what I'm doing over here. Starting to look much better now. Fully covered, overhang, much happier. Oh yeah. I actually love being up on roofs. You know, when I did my first cabin, a guy named Larry helped me, good old Larry, and I ended up helping him out on a bunch of roofs. And it's just such a nice place to be in the shade on a nice weather day. Up high. Well, this thing is really shaping up. I shared some final thoughts here. Yes, I'm going to be totally out of focus in this shot, but it was in the moment, I was tired, so I decided to include it anyways for you. Well, it looks much better than it did when I started, which was just digging some holes in the ground last week. I've made the decision to keep this shed after all. I've put too much time in now. I like it too much. I am emotionally invested into the shed, so this shed is staying right here forever. I'm gonna just keep sprucing it up, and it's gonna be home to Blue Eddie, Blue Edward as I like to call it, and all the other stuff I have to put away. So super happy with the House of Blues. I shall call it the House of Blues, my shed. And it's not done yet, but it's done enough. That stuff is staying dry. The stuff on the sides is now going to stay dry. Overhangs are in. I'm making up for all my mistakes I made along the way. Par for the course, par for the course. I'm glad I did all this before I actually got into building a house. I have good mentorship in that department though, so I'm a little less worried, if you can believe it. And it's going to be square logs, so that's going to be a bit easier than just figuring out every single dimension all the time with squared lumber. And I have a set of plans even, imagine that. I just freestyled this thing and it worked, you know? Beautiful day out here. I am going to now edit the video you're watching, and I will see you soon. So yes, life has indeed been very full out here on the land. In this last part of the video, I'm going to respond to your questions and comments and end off with some good old nature sounds. And I'm also going to commit my favorite comment to birch bark to put in my house later and stick my least favorite comment on the thunderbox. Well, good evening, folks, to another Q&A session here in the tent. It is late. It is nighttime. I just broke the vase. I broke the glass for the lamp here. But we are regardless sitting here by the glow of the kerosene light. And I am going to do some Q&A, some questions and comments you've left in my comment section here. And after this, I'm going to play, actually, I should say after this, I'm going to show you my favorite comments that I'm committing to birch bark. And I'll be putting those in my house when it's done. I'll be putting them on a wall. And I'll put my least favorite comment on the thunderbox, as always. So you'll see that today. And in case you're wondering about my hat, I know you are, I got this in Fair Isle, which is off the coast of mainland Scotland. A little dot in the ocean. And it's nice and warm wool, slightly itchy, but it's from Fair Isle, so I will wear it. And it's getting chilly these nights, which is good for the bugs. Anyways, I digress. Q&A, followed by my comments that I'm going to write down, followed by just roughly 10 minutes of nature sounds and some scenery, which I'm going to end every episode with. I'm still working on my microphone skills, my field mic skills, so bear with me as I do that, but I'm going to end every episode like that as often as I can. All right, let's dive in, shall we? It's been a week, folks. It's been a week. First comment is from Margot Burns, 9085. They say, I remember when I was younger, I would watch a PBS show called Nature. I think I remember that show. Between the narrator's voice and the beautiful wildlife, I was so relaxed. I get the same feeling watching your videos. A calming voice, beautiful music, and Canadian nature. Thank you. Stay safe. Awesome. I'm glad to help in that department. I'm going to keep that vibe going. Dralbert Pakin, 885 says, can you make a pond for turtles and frogs, like a small one? Also, where do you shower and wash your clothes? I definitely want to make a pond for the frogs and turtles and dragonflies. I think dragonflies will spawn in there like crazy around here, and they will really help with the bugs. So I'm hatching a plan to spawn millions of dragonflies here somehow. Because if that happens, there will be no bugs. They'll eat them all. But yes, I have plans for a pond in the future. Not anytime soon. I got to get my house up first, remember. But absolutely. And how do I do my laundry and shower? Well, I drive down to a lake every now and again, and I jump on in there. And that is the main way I keep clean on a regular basis. I jump in the lake. And how do I do my clothes? Well, I definitely cheat in that one. I drive to town once a week, to the big town. One of the big towns is about an hour away or so. And I go to the laundromat. I show up there straight out of the woods, and I do my laundry, and I come back. That's how I do that stuff. Okay. Cal Balafa says, have you ever had a close encounter with a bear? If so, can you tell us about it? Ooh, I love this topic, okay? I'm actually going to turn this lamp up a little bit. There we go. So, the bears. Actually, just this week, as of this recording, July 24th, I think it is today, there was a fatal bear attack in northern Saskatchewan in Canada. And both of them were killed. This has happened all over the place in North America by black bears. Black bears are often seen as the gentle puppy dogs of the bear world, but they kill people and they will eat them. I've had a very close encounter, way too close, several of them. I've seen lots of bears in my time in the woods over the last 10 years, but especially in the last, I want to say 6 to 7 years, I've seen a lot. I've only seen one on the trail cam on this property so far, but it came and it moved, it dragged that moose carcass, if you've been following for a while, a few episodes back now. It dragged the moose carcass that I was keeping an eye on, and it finished it off. But close encounters, okay, here's story time, since we're by the candle here. I was working as a warden in Algonquin Park, and I lived in a tent. I'd done several stints in tents. This is like my 4th stint in a tent, okay? I'm used to this stuff. I was in a tent living, and my boss's back 40. He had 100 acres, or 150 acres of land. And I was way up a hill. And I realized in the fall, oh my goodness, I'm surrounded by berries. So one night, I'm lying there. I have to get up the next morning to get into the woods to do some trail work. And it was a very, what's the word? Intuitive feeling I had. I actually slept with chainsaw headphones on because I could hear the highway, and I'm a light sleeper. It wasn't a loud highway, but there were some cars racing by and it would wake me up if the engine was annoying. So I had these on, but something felt very off. And I took my headphones off. I had nothing with me in this tent. I was like, oh, this is going to be a quick overnight. I don't need an air horn. I don't need bear spray. I'm just going to lie here. I don't even need a knife. I'm just going to lie here, go to sleep, and I'll be up in the morning. I've been here for like 5 months at this point. 1 month to go. So this is the feeling I felt. Picture you're holding 2 powerful magnets right up against each other, but at the same pole. So like positive to positive. You know how they resist each other? That resistance feeling in your hands? I had that in my whole body. Okay, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I felt a very large presence just outside my tent wall, and I could feel an opposing force against me. And I took my headphones off, and there was this big old bear grumbling and grunting around. It kind of sounded like this, like right next to me. Okay. I froze. This thing was very bold, coming right up to my tent wall, checking me out. Think about that. And it was big, I could just tell, because of this force I was feeling. It's very weird and hard to explain, but I felt it. So what I did was I smacked the ground 3 times like this. Hey! And I screamed, hey! And then we both froze. And we're waiting to see what the next move is of the other. And then thankfully, it made one of those grunts again. It was like, and then it slowly bounded away. But it came right up to me and was looking around. It came like right up, rubbed itself against the tent wall. Way too close for comfort. And I also had right at that spot an encounter with a mother and a cub. But if you want to hear that story, you let me know, and I will tell it the next time possibly. Let me know in the comments. But that was a freaky moment. And after that, I moved my camp way down the hill, and I slept way closer to the main house. So that's one of my black bear stories. Great question. Oh, this is the comment that will be going on the Thunderbox. Sam Rhodes 1169 says, as a woodworker, you are hard to watch. Yes, well, that makes perfect sense, my friend, because I ain't a woodworker. I'm a regular dude who has very basic skills in this stuff. And to all my fellow dreamers out there, my aspiring people who want to do things in the world, never listen to people like this. Ever. Ever. And the whole reason I'm showing you this process is because I'm so sick of people like this who just have to try to take you down a notch, which I don't care that this person's saying this to me. The point is, you have to just accept there's going to be people in the world who try to take you down, and you have to just keep going and not listen to their BS. Okay. So that one's going to be on the Thunderbox. Spoiler alert. But I don't have amazing skills, but I'm going to pull this off. Watch. And if I can do this, you can do something like this or something big that some person is saying you can't do, or they're trying to make you feel like you can't do it. We can do anything we put our minds to, folks. I'm a firm believer in that. And if you're not, then go away. Sorry, be blunt. And this one's from Mendrick6323. My man, I would be the last, total opposite. I would be the last to criticize your building skills. When I retired in 2011, I built an 8x10 tool shed with a gable roof. I had a skill saw, a framing square, and a hammer. It has stood through multiple hurricanes here in North Florida, but that was my first fully enclosed building and built with my own two hands with zero help. By the way, you have a great singing voice. Thank you, thank you. And that's proof in the pudding right there. This guy just went for it. Put his mind to it, went for it, and that thing has withstood hurricanes. Even though there's other people out there saying, oh, you don't know what you're doing. Never listen to those people. Don't give them the time of day. Put their comments straight on the Thunderbox. Thanks for all your questions and comments, folks. I will leave you now with some sounds of good old nature. And like I say, I'm gradually honing in my skills in that department. Now that I have some serious power with my amazing BLUETTI, I'll be able to maybe run a long cord out and get one of my really good microphones out here and get some amazing quality sounds for you. Thanks for watching, folks. One other thing, if you're still watching, if there's any of you out there who are interested in actually building a house or building a cabin and starting from scratch like this, let me know, because I'm thinking of doing a membership thing on the channel. There's quite a few people who have asked, like, can we get help from you? Can you guide us through the process? And if there's enough of you out there, maybe I'll start up a membership thing and we could do our own private videos on here. And I could just do a Q&A strictly for all that stuff. It's just an idea. Let me know. Nature sounds, folks. I will see you next week. It's been a week and it'll be another week coming up, I have a feeling. Good night, folks. Next time, we'll see you.